Turning to business now, Madison Reddy joins us in the studio. So a major update today, Madison, with CBL Insurance. What's the story?
It's in liquidation. So this came out of a High Court hearing at the Auckland High Court this morning. It began at around 10 a.m. and this afternoon it was decided that the interim liquidators from McGrath-Nicol would be appointed officially. So this evening they were briefing staff about what would happen. I tried to talk to them about half an hour ago, but instead they just sent a statement saying that policyholders should continue to notify CBLI of claims, CBL Insurance, not the corporation, which will be assessed and processed. However, claims cannot be paid at this time. So CBL Insurance is a huge backstory behind this one. The corporation is in voluntary administration, but it all started in actually February, so about 10 months ago now, when the Reserve Bank, the official bank, moved to liquidate it. It applied to liquidate it in the High Court because it realised that it had breached its solvency issues there, and that it couldn't actually afford to pay out large insurance claims. And we were actually pretty much expecting it to be liquidated today because there was notorious support to restructure it from the directors. They thought that they could revive the insurance subsidiary, restructure it and keep it going, but they actually withdrew that opposition earlier this morning. So it was no surprise today that it was liquidated, given that there was no contest to do the opposite. We actually spoke to the managing director of CBL Corporation today, Peter Harris, who hasn't necessarily fronted up on this all that often. We asked him today what he would say to shareholders who have lost hundreds of millions of dollars from his company. Here's what he had to say.
I just, I'm very sad for a lot of people and our employees and that sort of thing. Our team has stayed together throughout this. We've got a lot of support around the world, and I sort of feel we've let them down a little bit. But we came very close. I think if we would have won in court, but however, we just need to make the best of this, and now spend our time on productive things rather than just fighting in the courts.
That's Peter Harris, the Managing Director of CBL Insurance, which is now from today in liquidation. And also the Reserve Bank welcomed that liquidation move by the High Court today. And also just this afternoon, they announced in their statement welcoming this move that they've actually launched their own independent review into their own dealings with CBL Insurance. There's been some criticism that they shouldn't have even given CBL Insurance a licence to operate way back in 2013. So they've launched a review into that decision. And that's being led by a Queen's Counsel and another insurance guy called John Trowbridge.
So still more to come on that.
Definitely more to come.
Fonterra Management, okay, so they've faced off with shareholders again today. What happened there?
So there's two parts of Fonterra on the NZX. There's the cooperative, which is obviously owned by farmer shareholders, which we hear from all the time. The other side of it is actually the Fonterra Shareholders Fund. Now that's like any NZX listed company that's just listed on the share market. So they had their annual meeting for that part of the company today. So the Fonterra management had to front up for the third time in person, not just to media and also farmers, but to these retail investors who typically look at their business decisions. A lot of the questions being thrown at them today.
Curly questions, were they?
Certainly curly, and certainly a frank mood in there as well. Most of the questions were around their business decisions around China, given that its investment in Being Mate turned out to be an absolute lemon. The chairman even today calling it its problem child, and also their China farms losing about 9 million last year as well. But looking forward, this is what the Fonterra management really wanted to focus on. They talked about their outlook and the future prospects for the company, which they are obviously all very positive about. The Chief Executive Miles Hurrell really focused on the future, and he said that they're making good progress on everything that they said they would do a couple of months ago, which is reducing their capital expenditure, so down from 861 million is what they spent last year. They're drawing a line in the sand this year to only spend 650 million. They also say that their plan to reduce debt by 800 million is on target.
Any more curly questions about his salary package?
There wasn't, and they have been very plumb about that one. They haven't actually given us a figure, but they've said last week it came out of the farmer shareholders meeting, that other side I mentioned, that is being paid substantially less, but that will be revealed in their financial year results next year.
And markets? What happened there?
The NZX Top 50 Index actually rose, up 0.3% tonight, so that's about 25 points to 8,957. The New Zealand dollar is buying at 67.4 US cents, still really strong there, 93.3 to the Australian and 52.2 British pence.
Fantastic, Madison. Thanks for that.